Hey, what's up, guys? It's Yash. Mosquitoes. Now, today's topic is stop edging. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, this is Yash, and today I want to be talking about frequencies. So, everything you do frequently, everything you do frequently is a frequency. It's your frequency. Everything you do frequently is your frequency. So you can picture it like this. Our brain, okay, I'm going to stop doing the Yash impression. Consciousness. So our brains have neurons, right? And these neurons have certain patterns, different little connections, and everyone has an individual brain. And everybody has individual patterns in their brain. Follow? If you don't follow, double tap right there. Anyway, so these patterns are made up of our habits, and habits are the things we do frequently, hence our frequency, right? So let's put different classes of people or different patterns. Criminals, mentally insane people, religious people, studious people, and workaholics. So, the criminals have certain patterns because of the things they do frequently, crimes, and they move and do things with their body in the world, and that is their frequency. They start doing crimes. That's the criminal area's frequency, criminal frequency. And then they resonate with these criminal frequencies resonate and forms gangs. And eventually, the cop frequency, they put them in jail. And then prisons become a egregore of those frequencies. So that is the resonant field of criminality. Then, religious people, they have a certain frequency, they have certain patterns, more spiritually inclined, I guess. They have this frequency of frequently praying and frequently going to church and talking about God, and then they resonate with these certain type of people. And they go to churches, and that's the egregore of their frequency. Now I see these things neutrally, like I see these things for what they are. If the frequency is bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. For example, a religious person that their frequency is leaning more towards hate, then they're leaning around the criminal side. They're in that negative frequency. Then I guess the scholars, they have a frequency of studying and curiosity. They go to colleges, they go to institutions, and they meet up in libraries and read books and shit. So that's their egregore. Workaholics, they feel like they don't have enough money, and then they frequently go to work, and then they meet up in their egregore. And that's their reality. That's how they see the world. But in reality, the world is just a blank sheet of composition paper where you can write your own song with your own consciousness. Your consciousness is you're the composer of your life. It's the blank page of your book, the blank canvas of your painting. And the only way to do this is to train your muscle memory, which is connected to your brain. If you're constantly waking up and stretching, and then you're just looking around, and you hop on your phone, and then you're like scrolling Instagram, and then you get sad because your feed is starting reminding you of your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend or some bullshit like that. That's like the Gen Z frequency, dude. Like the Instagram Gen Z frequency. You're gonna be in there, and that's gonna shape your reality, and then you're gonna walk around, and you're gonna resonate with people on that frequency, and you're gonna think, oh, this is the real world. Nah, bro. You need to, like, once you wake up, first thing you do something completely different. Go out for a walk. Go and do some, like, breath work, or like drink a cup of coffee and just chill, bro. And then you'll meet people on that frequency. You'll resonate. You're gonna find so many chill people. So basically, yeah, so there are these egregores of locations of resonance. And from my last video, that Edenia village that I want to build with my friends, we were looking into these ancient Atlantean civilizations and Tartaria, and all these cathedrals and temples were like these egregores of a certain frequency, spiritual frequency. And they just, it's like the acoustics of reality. They shape the acoustics of reality with buildings. Because like buildings is basically like like when you build something, you're building a room, a space. Why do you think there's so many in cities, man-made places like malls and cities and barbershops? There's a certain feel, there's a certain vibe, because that's the resonance. That's where somebody built that from their brain and put it on to a building. So similarly, if you build a temple and you create it a certain way, you can trap a certain vibe in there. Take Earth, for example. There's an empty vacuum, empty space, and then there's a planet that God made, and He made it so there's trees, there's humans, and it's just the whole vibe, bro. That's the Earth vibe. And maybe souls that are on this Earth frequency, they go here. Maybe this is another egregore. You always have to expand your mind. Science likes to look at things with a microscope and also with a telescope. But mysticism makes you look at everything at the same time. It makes you expand your vision. Lots of people have their vision super tunnel vision, so they're only seeing like what's in front of them. But they forget, most of the times there's stuff behind you. There's stuff in your peripheral vision that's blurry. Mysticism allows you to see the mysteries that lie beneath the veil for what you don't really you don't really see. So, man, this river I'm next to is so fucking pretty. I'm gonna give an example of how I'm gonna change the certain frequency that I'm on right now, because I just worked out and I just like went on a run and did some pull-ups and shit. So I'm kind of like in this hyper frequency. I had coffee in the morning, so I'm about to do this breathwork thing that is gonna make me like really calm, and it's gonna shift like the whole neurochemistry. So I'm gonna give like a demonstration real quick. It's gonna be cool as fuck. So and you can follow along too. So. Dude, whoa, bro. Damn. Dude, I feel like fucking Buddha right now, dude. What the fuck? Now, as you can see, I'm in a whole other fucking frequency right now, dude. The light is glimmering through my eyelids, and it's like... In my mind, there was like this like buzzing, like this... Mind's going crazy, like my thoughts are like connecting these dots. And now, it's just silence. And it's adjusting my tone of voice. Speaking of tone of voice, our tones of voice are influenced by our frequency. People that are calm, they have a calm voice because their mind is calm. So, when their mind is calm, their voice changes. People that have crazy minds, thoughts coming everywhere, super busy, and they're like, talk like that. Kind of like I'm talking a little bit. Because I work so much and have so many things, I'm always moving, so sometimes you gotta hit the brakes. And that's going to calm your nervous system. It's going to calm your muscles, relax your muscles. Oh, this is amazing, bro. Dude. That's why I love doing breath work, bro. That changes the whole vibration, which is the whole frequency. And they're like patterns too. They're like frequencies are like cymatics. We're like made out of water. And they're patterns. My soul has consciousness. I have thoughts. I have ideas. It's like who I am. It's like my Atman, my spark. And I'm encased in this body that you're seeing through a screen. And I'm living it. I can touch my skin, and you can relate too, because you can touch your skin. You can look at your body right now and touch it with your arms, and you can feel sensations. You can see. And you know, I was also thinking earlier, a good meditation technique is to look at everything the way it is. Scan your environment calmly, like a baby. You know how babies stare at everything, dude. And you just see. You don't make any judgment or anything. You can make judgment, but like, the point is to just let those pass. They're just frequencies that you're like echoes, like an echo chamber. That's why the term echo chamber exists, and it's in your mind too. But if you just let them pass, you change your frequency, and you'll start frequently being calm, looking at everything, making eye contact with your friends and family. Your demeanor changes. I can kind of see a visual in my mind of a balloon that can take shape. Spiky, round, triangular, rectangle. And the balloon is your body, and the shape that it takes is your frequency or the pattern or your state of mind, your state of how you are. It's actually true, you know, if your state of mind is, say, studious, you start learning things, you start making things, experiments. If your mind is fitness, you start working out, you change your body into a different shape. If your mind is addicted to food and you accumulate a little bit more fat, you get a lot more blubber. If you don't like food, then you get skinny, etc., etc. So it's like a balloon. Some people, they get tattoos, some people, they dye their hair, they express. You know, there's a quote from the Dead Poets Society. When Robin Williams, acting as Mr. Keating, said, "And the powerful play goes on, and you may contribute a verse. What will your verse be?" Alright, this is Yash. I'm gonna end the video now. I like that one. Alright, that was a good one. Goodbye bye.